XconMedia.
Thank you for tapping in. Listen, man, you ever had them friends that voted for Harris that don't seem to want to give Donald Trump his credit, even when he does something right? Listen, I asked probably about 10 people a couple weeks ago, man, has Trump did anything right? And the answer is always the same, man. That Trump deranged syndrome is a real thing, man. Like, this man can't do anything right. So let's highlight some things that he done in this first 10 months of his administration, since y'all clowns don't seem to want to recognize and give the man his credit. And you'll be surprised at who in one of these videos has given his credit, like a bona fide Democrat. And I've seen her smash him so many times, and even she gave him credit. So let's check it out.
Trump, I just want to let you know, man, I gotta stand with you. You sent them people here and they cleaned up our motherfucking streets. I'm talking about they cleaned them good. I don't see a YN nowhere doing nothing. I don't hear no motherfucking gunshots. I don't hear no cars burning rubber. I don't hear none of this shit, Trump. I'm talking about y'all took 600 criminals off the street. Y'all got 191 guns off the streets. Y'all got 50,000 in narcotics off the streets. Man, if I ever said anything crazy about Trump, I take it back. But one thing I can say, I don't know what the hell MPD been around here doing. For y'all to come here and make 600 arrests, goddamn, Memphis, y'all really looking bad. That chief that we hired out of Nashville, hey, y'all need to get her walking papers. Paul Young, get his ass them walking papers too. Sheriff Bonham, get his ass them walking papers too. All of them got to go. This is a motherfucking RICO sweep.
Straight from a Memphis resident. What have they been doing? Why have they been fighting so hard to keep the Trump administration out of their cities? That's the $1 million question. That's just like the DC mayor fought so hard to get him out, to keep him out. He gets in, and I want to say it hasn't been a murder since Trump took over DC. Now, the DC mayor will kind of be like, oh, the murder rate has dropped significantly. There was no reason for them to come in here. What's better than zero? Because you wasn't at zero, and since Trump stepped in, you're at zero. The streets of Memphis, they told y'all he was coming, and it got that crime down ASAP. 600 people off the street, hundreds of guns off the street, man. You mean to tell me what the Democrats ain't gonna give this man any credit for this? Let's get to the next video.
I usually mind my business, but I find it crazy that ever since Trump been sending out the National Guard to certain cities like DC, Memphis, the people that actually live there, the law-abiding citizens, have no issues with Trump bringing these folks in because they know that their own community is dying because they keep killing each other. Like, why is it that this white man, Trump, has to send people in to teach you niggas how to act in your own neighborhoods? Like, YNs gotta wake up and realize, bro, like, y'all are causing some of the most destruction we've ever seen, bro. This is crazy. This generation, the way that we have no regard for each other's lives is disgusting, bro. And it's like, to watch it all go away as soon as a white man give an order, that's actually sickening. Because it just shows that you don't know how to act unless a white man got his thumb in the back of your neck telling you what to do in your own community. But you can't self-govern yourself and be a law, not even, I wouldn't even say law-abiding. I'll just say motherfucking an upstanding citizen to where you're not out here taking out your own fucking people. That's the biggest issue. I don't care about people selling. I don't care about nobody selling nothing that people want, period. But when you out here unaliving your own, that's the real problem. But I find it funny that the murder rates in these cities have gone so low, which lets me know that You niggas know right from wrong. You just don't give a fuck about your own people enough to stop killing each other. That's just what I gotta come up with. Y'all don't care about your own people. Y'all only listen when the white man got his thumb on the back of your neck and his foot in your ass. That's the only time you YNs know how to listen. That shit's sad.
I need you to think about that for a second. Why is it like that? She is 100% correct. Why is it that the man got to come in there and tell y'all how to act? Y'all can't self-govern yourselves. It just got to be somebody out here wreaking havoc. Breaking the law is a choice. So we can blame it on mental health a lot of times, but man, it's really not just mental health. It's you clowns just don't want to do right. Why is it? So you got all these Democrats steady trying to keep this man out the city. Why is that? Have you asked yourself why when you clearly need help? Memphis, Baltimore, Chicago, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Denver, Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Nashville, Tennessee, Indianapolis. Clearly need help, but they fighting. Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, clearly need help, but they fighting to keep the federal government out of their states. Why is that? They like this havoc. They like the fact that you YNs is taking each other out the game. That's work that they don't have to do. Because when one take the other one out, you got one gone, and then one in all likelihood on his way to prison for the rest of his life. Let's continue.
Peace in the Middle East under Trump? No me diga. Even when the man does the unthinkable, actually brokering peace between Israel and Hamas, his biggest critics still call him a warmonger. They say they fear for their democracy, for their future, for their freedom. When is this charade going to end? For the past 10 months, Trump has proved them wrong again and again. He's brokered the peace deals, rewritten trade agreements, brought in record-breaking revenue from tariffs every so-called expert said would destroy the economy. The economists got it wrong. The political class got it wrong. And the media is still crying. But as Trump keeps on winning, the American people are starting to see the writing on the wall. Even his harshest critics have to admit this is huge. Now, will Israel hold up their end of the bargain? Will Hamas actually release the prisoners? That remains to be seen. But these are real steps towards peace, steps that would have never happened without the strength of the president and the will of the American people who put them there. So if you
Once again, these folks been fighting all my life, hundreds of years, man. And they finally came up with an agreement to stop this war. This war started in the last administration, and the last administration could not stop it. Okay. All right. Y'all always talking about Trump want war. He's supposed to put us back into slavery. He supposed to do this. He declaring martial law. He doing all. Man, shut up. Just shut up. Okay. Peace in the Middle East. Okay. This man brokered that, but is he gonna get credit? Man, you Democrats cannot be pleased, man. Let's get to the next video.
Trump just turned the government shutdown into a weapon. Democrats didn't even see it coming. For years, shutdowns meant the same thing: panic, furloughs, and promises of back pay once everybody kissed and made up in D.C. But this time, Trump's not waiting around. His team says federal layoffs have already started. Real reduction in force notices, not just furloughs. And here's why that matters. Democrats, they're holding the line, demanding an Obamacare extension in December before they'll negotiate. Trump's response? Fine. You want the government shutdown? I'll use the shutdown. He's cutting payroll, shrinking agencies, and calling it budget discipline. That's not just policy, that's pressure. Think about it. Every other president treated shutdowns like a hostage crisis. Trump's treating it like an opportunity. He's betting the public will side with cutting bureaucracy over caving to Congress. So yeah, the layoffs are real, and so is this message. If Washington won't make a deal, he'll start trimming the fat himself. He's betting the public will back him. You think he's right? Follow for more straight talk.
Smaller government. We need that in our life. We need government to stop wanting to oversee and overlook every single thing. The government shutdown is the best thing that could have happened. Because a lot of this stuff, a lot of these programs, a lot of this money getting spent, we don't need it. We don't need it. So guess what? The Democrats are playing directly into what the country needs. Let's get to the next video. Okay, this is our future president right here telling why the shutdown is really going on. And if you haven't heard this, you need to hear this and pay attention, because this man is not lying.
What they have done instead is to shut down the government because we won't give billions of dollars to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. That is what has actually happened. To the American people who are watching, the reason your government is shut down at this very minute is because, despite the fact that the overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and even a few moderate Democrats supported opening the government, the Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party shut down the government because they said to us, we will open the government, but only if you give billions of dollars of funding for healthcare for illegal aliens. That's a ridiculous proposition. If you're an American citizen, you've been to a hospital in the last few years, you probably noticed that wait times are especially large, and very often somebody who's there in the emergency room waiting is an illegal alien, very often a person who can't even speak English. Why do those people get healthcare benefits at hospitals paid for by American citizens? The answer is a decision made by the Biden administration that the Trump administration, working with congressional Republicans, undid. We turned off that money spigot to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. The Democrats, in their legislative text, want to turn it back on.
Is this going to be a long shutdown?
You know, I don't know. I can't predict what congressional Democrats are going to do, Peter, but I actually don't think it's going to be that long of a shutdown. This is a pure guess from the Vice President of the United States, because I think you already saw some evidence that moderate Democrats are cracking a little bit. We're going to do everything that we can over the coming weeks, if the shutdown lasts that long, to ensure that people get the essential services that they need, despite the fact that Chuck Schumer has shut down the federal government. It's not going to be perfect because we are in a government shutdown. We are going to have to lay some people off if the shutdown continues. We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
Why does the president want to fire some workers and not just furlough them? Why is this shutdown any different?
Well, first of all, we haven't made any final decisions about what we're going to do with certain workers. What we're saying is that we might have to take extraordinary steps, especially the longer this goes on. We're going to have to take extraordinary measures to ensure the people's government operates, again, not perfectly, because it's not going to operate perfectly in the midst of a shutdown, but operate as well as it possibly can. And I think that the Democrats, if they're so worried about the effect this is having on the American people, and they should be, what they should do is reopen the government, not complain about how we respond to the fact that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have shut down the government in the first place. Thank you all. Caroline.
Man, y'all not tired of Chuck Schumer yet? Nancy Pelosi and all them folks that's making these decisions that probably won't even be here in the next 10 years to see the effects of the decisions that they're making. I don't know how these people in those Democratic states keep getting reelected, man. I don't even know how the Democrats listen. That's a whole nother story for another day, man. But the reason for the government shutdown, man, is because Democrats are trying to do something for people that are not even supposed to be here anyway, but they won't do nothing for you. Do you have a problem with that? Let's get to the next video.
There's no question that if this goes as planned, if we see those remaining hostages freed and Israel begin its withdrawal, it is a remarkable achievement, and President Trump most certainly deserves credit for his role. He has done this through diplomacy, pressure, and the sheer force of his personality and persistence. He dispatched diplomats again and again, made threats just in the last few days to Hamas, saying again if they did not sign the deal, all hell would break loose. And they had the bombing of Iran as an example of that. But perhaps most importantly, he pushed Benjamin Netanyahu in ways his predecessor and others have not. Robin.
And what finally got the two sides to this point? And will it be able to get phase two off the ground?
Well, you know, Robin, throughout this process, President Trump never wavered in his support for Israel. But when Netanyahu ignored much of what Trump was trying to accomplish by continuing to bomb over the last few months, Trump laid down the hammer with Netanyahu, essentially saying enough is enough. Trump had also told Netanyahu that he was opening indirect negotiations with the Iranians, which put even more pressure on the Israeli prime minister. Obviously, the coming days will prove whether the rest of the plan comes to fruition. But if those hostages are freed, which would leave Hamas without their major bargaining tool, this is a huge moment for Donald Trump.
XconMedia.
Even Martha Raddatz is giving DJT his credit, man. I done seen her bash him repeatedly, but even she giving him credit, man. Hey, comment below, man. Do y'all have some Democratic friends that just can't seem to get this man any type of recognition for what he's doing, even though they're benefiting from what's going on? Listen, man, like it or not, we got 3 more years of this. And if everything goes right, I'm predicting that J.D. Vance is going to have a smooth transition for another 8 years. So we looking at 11 years. If we can't get right in 11 years, it's never going to happen, because these politicians are playing ping pong with our lives. One of these parties needs to fall, and it is the Democratic Party. I'm here to tell you, they need to fall. So shout out to Donald Trump, man. That's my president, man. And he is putting in work, whether you want to give him the credit or not. The ones that see it, we really see it. Thank you, Donald Trump.
Thank you for tuning into XconMedia. Go right ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hurry up!